Well, there's always a first time. It's I'm really anxious to hear about you guys.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that my sisters couldn't join. My one sister goes to bed early during the week and because she gets up early for work. And Chastity's that girl is in meetings all throughout the day.
We are we are coming in now.
Okay.
Have a great show.
Yeah. Thanks, Troy.
Darkness has descended upon the city, and the creatures of the night have begun to stir. This is the time when the veil between the realms of the living and the dead is the thinnest, and all that is not what it appears to be. Like a lone sentinel, one candle flickers in the night, revealing all that lurks in the darkness. This is Ghost Chronicles, Book of Shadows. Welcome to the nightmare.
Well, good evening, everyone, and I am that lone candle flickering in the night, Ron Kolick, the New England's own Van Helsing, and with me, the Wicked Witch from the West herself, Marla Brooks.
Hello. I'm going to always be
The Wicked Witch from the West? Yes, you are.
yeah.
It's good for you.
Okay. You say so.
Yeah, it gives you a reputation.
I've got reputations, but we're not going there. Yeah, okay.
But not like this one.
No, that's for sure.
But anyway.
Okay, so you know what?
What?
People don't, you know me, and everybody knows me, and I've got backstories. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think can we start with that? Because
yes, you can do whatever you want, my love.
I'm not interrupting you, Tone, so it makes it easier.
No, feel free.
Yeah. So Mandy, how did you guys all get together about ghosties and all kinds of stuff?
Well, I have been dealing with spirits since I was like 9 and 10. And from that age on up, I just always been fascinated with it. And back in 2017, I decided to start up a team. And I'm doing this with my biological sisters. And so it kind of went from there since 2017. But what actually set it off was I ended up going to the Mansfield prison and I needed someone to go with me. And this is before I started the team. So I had my sister join me. And at the time I was working in law enforcement. And so, she didn't even know people really did that for a living. She's like, people really do this? Yeah. And she wasn't going to go with me. And I said, you're getting a ticket and going with me. I am not going to this prison alone. So, and she got her ticket and I ordered the SB7 spirit box and then
God bless you.
the geophone. And that's all I had. And my sergeant let me wear his camera. So I had like a GoPro on.
Okay.
And
like a body cam?
Yeah. It was I had it around my head and I was filming down in solitary and the lights were still on. They hadn't turned off the lights. And I kept hearing a guy down there because I'm also a intuitive medium. Actually been doing mediumship longer than I have been doing the paranormal. But
have you been doing it longer than law enforcement?
No.
Okay. Curious.
I've been doing the medium stuff for 10 years, but I've been doing I was in law enforcement way before I started my mediumship stuff. Wow. But anyway, we were down in solitary and I kept hearing a guy, saying, hey. I couldn't see him nowhere, but I could hear him. Well, later on, like the next day or so, my sergeant was going through our video and right in the beginning, we captured what we believe was the guard Frank walking down in the solitary area. He was wearing all black and you could see him. He had that guard walk and he was like pacing the end of the hall there. And we're like, what? I couldn't even believe we captured it, but we did with the lights on. And just it was a week after going on that investigation, it was just so good. I knew it was what I was supposed to be doing. And that's when I called up my sister. I said, "Hey, I'm starting up a team." And I said, "You're joining." And she's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, whatever." And it just went, it just went from there. And the crazy thing is, I knew something kept telling me, my intuition kept saying, do not lose this evidence. Do not lose that evidence that we had. So back in, it was about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, we ended up being on Ghost Brothers at the Mansfield prison. It was Lights Out, season 2, The Shank,
Mhm.
and they put us on the show, and I actually had the most clips out of everybody. Because I had the best evidence, and it turned out to be pretty good. So I knew there was a reason at that time I was supposed to keep it, and it turned out we were going to be on Ghost Brothers.
Oh, cool. So you, growing up, uh, did you have an interest in the paranormal?
I was always into like scary movies and the scary things.
Mhm.
I did. I grew up hearing ghost stories. I grew up hearing my grandma or my mother or my aunt talking about, grandma had this experience, mom, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
I was always intrigued because I was experiencing things. And I didn't understand, what actually was going on, but there was definitely things that was going on that I definitely, I learned real quick that there was a ghost, a spirit around me.
Okay. Now, um, so what about your sisters? Uh, did they have experiences where they were young as well, or?
I never heard nothing growing up from them. Not until they were adults, like in their 20s.
Mhm.
And then, they might have had like one or two little things. It was mainly their children that was experiencing things.
And so when you started to do this, what was their thoughts? Like, she's crazy. And I know, like, when I started doing that's what my wife thought, but, what's he doing now? But what was their feelings about it?
You know, um, it was something they didn't know it was going to go this far. They didn't know it was going to turn out this way. And they just thought maybe this is just going to be short term, something I'm going to do, but no, it's my passion. And so it's just and it's going to keep going. And at first they just kind of thought, whatever, and now it's like, okay, this is serious, and it's gotten really serious, and now they love it, and my whole family's, most of my family's all about it.
Oh, really?
Big family, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
So go
oh
ahead.
yeah, there's a two so's here. I'll flip it for you. Um, about the mediumship, when did you know that you were doing it and not just having, something in your head that isn't really there?
Well, I had a brother, and I want to be careful how I say this, but when I was like, I think he passed, not by accident, he didn't pass. He was, I don't want to say killed, because that's
Uh,
what happened. He was 15 and I would have been 10. So that's when everything really kicked in for me. So I had two traumatic things that had happened to me when I was young, and that being one of the big things. And I think it kind of opened up some doors that probably shouldn't have been open. They say when you've had traumatic things that's happened in your life, it can kind of open up this doorway, and things can start happening. But I've always been a real sensitive kid. So I think that probably didn't help either. But my brother was the first one to actually come around me after he passed. And I would hear him walking around in the room. He would mess with my radio. He would turn my radio up real loud.
and how did you know it was him?
Well, I was in his, after he passed, a few years later, I ended up moving over to my brother's room.
Yeah.
and that became my room. It was remodeled and everything, and I knew it was my brother. I
So
knew,
it was a feeling more than anything, and that's
yeah, I
probably
never seen him,
yeah.
but it was in his room.
No, it's that's the interesting thing about the
Yeah.
paranormal is that, uh, like for instance, an orb. If we know that orbs are there's so many reasons why they should be there, but if someone will show you a picture of an orb on a child's shoulder and say, look, see, there's my grandfather. They're not saying that there's a ghost or there's a spirit. They're saying a particular person. So what makes them believe it is that particular person. So I think that's the aspect that we're talking about a mediumship is that we just know things rather than uh,
Yeah.
makes no logical sense, but it is no proof, but yet we know it.
Yeah.
Does that make
And
sense?
yeah, it does. And also, my brother, when we were younger, he loved to scare us. And he was scaring me. He really was scaring me.
Really? So you were scared of the paranormal then?
Well, yeah, because I was only like 10, 10,
Yeah.
11 at the
No.
time when that was going on. And I knew he was messing with the radio. We always listened when we were younger, we would always listen to the Blitz when we were kids. As we were sleeping,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
would play all night long. We'd have the radio on. And, nothing ever happened in that house until, that happened to my brother.
Hmm. Interesting.
I've had so many people as medium on my show over the years, and some of them say they keep their mind open all the time. Others say you have to keep it closed, otherwise it's going to drive you crazy. What do you think about that?
Yeah, a lot of people say they can they turn it on and off. I don't know
Right.
how they're doing that. Mine's open 24/7. So I don't know how they're doing it. Mine's just open. So whatever comes, comes.
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's some people say if you take psychic training, you can learn to do that. But yeah, I mean, I have so many friends that are mediums and psychics that yeah, they always say that their minds are always active.
Well,
Uh,
and I read people all over the world. So I'm someone who's constantly reading and connecting and channeling. I mean, this is besides the paranormal, doing readings for people. I mean, I do big groups, things like that. I'm constantly talking to spirits. So my mind's always open to the constant. It's every day of the week. And a lot of times on the weekends, I do big parties for people. So I am constantly, and I've been doing this for years. And so I just, I'm a natural medium. I'm just open. And I think they've kind of learned to leave me alone a little bit. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I'll hear them saying my name. But
Oh,
yeah, they woke me
no, I
up.
get that 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
loud and clear. Yeah. And I just don't
Turning my
understand.
TV on.
No, all of a sudden, Marla, well, what? Who are you? What? And then nothing happens
Uh-huh.
except Betty got woken up. Yeah, it's fun. Not really.
that couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Well, I've heard, multiple spirits in my house and my name they're always talking. I've heard them talking in my office that I'm in right now, and it's pretty scary because it's just like we're talking. I hear them talking. It's something that has taken a while to get used to because sometimes it catches you off guard. You're not expecting to hear, spirit talking,
hmm
and then you
hmm
hear it and it's like, oh Lord. It
It's
scares
also,
me a lot, even though I've been doing this for years. It still is can be kind of spooky.
Hmm.
I get knocked at the door a lot or the wall,
Or the
you know,
window.
or the window. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's always like three or four, and then it stops, but it's kind of hollow, and it's just like, okay, the cat looks at me, I look back at the cat, we both go back to sleep. What else are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, I know. I've had I know my animals see things because out there investigating things always follow me home, and sometimes they're mean to my dogs. I actually had one follow me from Tennessee, and my husband works in law enforcement too, and he had just gotten home, so he wasn't even out of his uniform. And my Saint Bernard come walking up the hallway, and I already knew there was a guy here because he as soon as I got home from Tennessee, the guy's like, Mandy. I was like, oh no. And this is during the day, and my dog comes walking up, and we both were standing there. And next thing you know, my dog's back legs looked like somebody had pushed him, and he went sliding. And my husband and me, we looked at each other. He's like, "Did you just see what happened to Cujo?" I said, "Yeah."
Cujo? Oh, God bless you.
He's a Saint Bernard.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, so we were both like, oh my gosh. And I said, yeah, I said, that's it. And I got so mad at that spirit, I ended up saging my house. I mean, you could probably see the smoke roaring out of my house. I was so mad. I'm like, you're getting out of here. You got to go. Usually, if they don't mess with my family or mess with me or my animals, I'm okay because I don't think they usually stick around that long.
Mhm.
But when they start to get a little violent, then I'm going to do whatever I can to get them to leave. And they
Right.
don't like
Right.
saying.
Hmm. So, what state do you live in?
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay. Uh, Growing up, what was your religion?
Oh, Christian. My whole family are well, my dad's side of the family, there is some that are not Christians. They're Italians. They're
Mhm.
Catholic.
Okay.
Not all of them though, but mainly Christianity
Mhm.
is our background, our religion.
Okay. And your mom, when you started, was she alive when you was doing this?
Yes, she's still alive.
Yeah. Uh, what were her thoughts?
No, what's interesting is, I never heard of my mom seeing a ghost when I was like younger, but I know that she had like dreams of my brother coming to her and seeing her father who's in spirit. So I heard things like that. But my mother, throughout the whole being a teenager and even in my 20s, because I probably drove my family nuts because I always had something happening. Never once did my mother say, well, Mandy, I see ghosts too. Never once did she say, I see them in my dreams or I have premonitions. I found out that my mother has seen ghosts quite a lot,
Really?
actually, and she's heard them, and my mother has premonitions, and a lot of times it happens.
Oh, wow. So that's
I was like, you could have told me this. Like, she waits till I get into the paranormal and I start doing my mediumship and everything. And then, they're all looking at me like different. I'm like the black sheep of the family. And now it's like, oh, okay. So you have been seeing spirits and you do believe in spirits. So, but I believe this was handed down from my Native American family. I
okay.
have it on both sides of my family. I believe my great great grandmother passed it down because I believe that she was a very spiritual woman, from what I'm told by my mother.
Okay. You say you do this professionally now, right?
Yes, I retired from um
Law enforcement.
yes, law enforcement probably about 6 years ago to
Mhm.
pursue my career. Even though I was doing this when I was in law enforcement, it was harder because at the time I didn't have weekends off, so I had to just go when I could. I would go on the weekend and have to be at work in the morning. So that was hard.
Did it aid you in law enforcement?
Did it what?
Aid you in your law enforcement and your jobs?
No, but actually when I was working at the jail, I had a lot of spirits there and oh, I could tell you some stories.
Mhm. Yeah, as I mentioned that I work with different mediums all my life, and well, all my paranormal life, and they have worked with law enforcement on various cases and things, and so that's what I was really getting at. If that it happened to you, or was it a tool in your tool chest in law enforcement?
I've investigated our common police courthouse where I used to transport inmates, and I've actually had inmates that are passed on follow me from the jail to locations, and
Ah,
I've actually got recordings of my last name being said.
So, is that what you find the most compelling evidence that you collect is your recordings?
Um, uh, the most compelling stuff it is EVPs,
Okay.
and we've captured shadow figures. I mean, dark. I mean, I've never seen an entity so dark. I mean, it's almost, I don't know if you've ever heard anyone say blacker than black.
Mhm.
You couldn't even, I mean, this thing, yeah, and it was peeking around the corner at us, and we captured it on our live. And I didn't know it until later, but it was there. And we've captured apparitions a couple times actually, and I've seen them when I've been out there investigating.
So, do you do what type of cases do you work on, or
We do residential cases,
you do?
but
Okay.
we only do residential cases when it has to do with something serious. It can't just be, oh, we got the typical ghosts, our doors are opening and something's
Yeah.
walking. It has to be really, really something serious in order for us to do a residential case.
Okay. Yes, some people, they only do residential cases. Other people only do commercial cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we travel all over the states. We go to businesses. We go everywhere.
and that's
So, but
without
it's
a
even rare
website
to,
too.
huh?
And that's without a website.
Yeah, yeah. We go everywhere. Um, I actually have a website, but we just haven't done anything
Oh, okay.
yet. We just haven't put anything up. It's just I have multiple platforms, and I'm the one that runs all this. My sisters, they got it pretty easy. All they got to do is just show up.
Huh?
They
I
got
do
it
all the
made.
work.
Sounds familiar. So, what place have you investigated that you found the most interesting?
Out of all the places,
Yeah, or top three or whatever you want to
so
choose. That's fine.
Tennessee, in Bristol, Tennessee, there is a place called the Ura Shrine. And out of all the places I've ever investigated, that one stands out because it's a shrine. And the cool part is the guy, the caretaker, the owner, he worked in law enforcement. So me and
Oh,
him had that connection. And he actually has a bunch of haunted items, and he deals with like the flux how can I say this? The balance of things, the yin and the yang.
mhm.
So he deals with that, and he's got a witch's stead there. He's got a cave inside this place. He's got a bamboo area. It's huge, and every place on this property is haunted.
Oh,
And
wow.
the location has everything that us paranormal investigators love. There is a dragon portal table there that they built, 6,000 pounds and something, made out of dragon cement. And they have dragon heads on it. And how it was done, they had different people come in with that practice different rituals. And once one layer of the cement was poured, they'd have them write their symbols in, just depending on what kind of practice they were doing. Some of it was dark magic,
Oh,
not all
wow.
of it was good. So each layer, out of all these layers on this table, I think there's about 6 or 7, has different practices of what people do built into this table.
Oh,
And
wow.
it is thick and it is gorgeous. And so, yeah, when I say that the location is different out of going to a prison, a jail, or an asylum, or just a house, a mansion, you name it, there isn't a place like this that I've been doing this a long time, and I've never came across a place like this.
Is there any particular place that you really, really want to go, but they've let you in or not let you in?
Well, I would love to go to Alcatraz. That's something on my bucket list. Because I love going to prisons and jails. I
Mhm.
just feel like I can connect with them more
Mhm.
working in law
Sure.
enforcement.
Yeah.
But Alcatraz is definitely one that us girls have been wanting to go to do a private investigation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They you won't go there because
Everybody goes here.
no, they'll because they might stay here. I mean, they might keep you there.
Yeah, that's besides the point.
Yeah, yeah. Can you swim?
Sure, I can swim.
Okay. Just ask, in case whatever
There's nothing
happened.
I can't do. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Everything.
I can cook. I can do
Yeah,
home
yeah.
improvements. I
Uh-huh.
can write. I can do. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Feel free.
Yeah.
Feel free. Anyway, we do have. So, how are we doing time wise? Okay. Uh, if you let's see. So do you do conferences and stuff?
Do I do what?
Conferences?
Conferences?
Yeah.
For my mediumship?
Yes.
Yes, people I've done those. Um, People have sold tickets for me to come to businesses. People book me to come to their house. They'll have like anywhere from 10 to 20
Okay. So
people
like a
more.
psychic party, sort of.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of businesses book me. Like
Yeah.
I got a yacht club has booked me.
Oh, that's cool.
So I never know. A wine place.
Oh, even cooler.
They they have booked me. So yeah.
Mm.
Is there anything that you would not do if somebody called that
Oh
or
yeah,
did?
that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a place? Is there a place?
Place, place, yeah, or somebody that's, something that you just don't want to do because, it could be a lot of reasons, but just, you know, some people just step away to certain things.
No, there isn't a location that I wouldn't do. I'm the type that would go into any place if it's known to be haunted.
And your sisters go along because they have to.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I'm the type too. I will go alone.
Oh, you will.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I just
You-
investigated Sunday night, 122-year-old bar and a hotel,
Mhm.
all alone.
Do you think that's a good practice though?
I don't do it all the time, but well, I'll tell you what, they'll come around you more. Well, they come around even if it doesn't matter. They come around a lot, but I will get more when it's just me sometimes
Hmm.
because they're curious.
Yeah, I can see that because, yeah, in a lot of investigations, you will get spirits that will show up. It has nothing to do with the place or the people involved. That they're just curious of what's going on, or they realize that someone's trying to contact the other side, and they want to be heard, so they'll uh, show up. Do you
I'm
find
sorry.
that true?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, when you do investigations, don't you find that like a lot of times that um, spirits will have nothing to do with the place or people involved, that they just curious of what's going on, or they realize somebody's trying to contact the other side, and they want to be heard, so they'll show up and try to communicate.
I do think sometimes that happens, and I also think it's the energy that you bring. So sometimes you might be with somebody that the spirits don't want to talk to. They were once people too, and I feel that they uh pick and choose who they want to communicate with.
Yeah, I agree. We have been studying the red light seance for 15 years. We hold a monthly meeting, and one of the things that we find that everybody sitting at that table, uh, may be reached by the spirit, not just the medium is sitting there, or one of the mediums is sitting there, because if they were, you might look like somebody that they knew in their past life, or if they were abused by their father, or a male figure, they might want to only speak to a female figure. So, yeah, that's it. It there are cases where they just don't want to talk to anybody else.
Yeah, there is. And there's been times where I've brought somebody with me and got less activity because of that person. As to where, like, especially a place that I've been to like a lot, and I know that I get a lot of evidence when I go there. But if I bring somebody sometimes, I won't get as much.
Do
because
you
they
find
don't-
that people bring spirits with them?
they can, yes, they can have attachments.
Okay. Do you find that sometimes that you have these negative spirits as well because they come with people?
Sometimes it just depends. If that person's a paranormal investigator, or they're just somebody who's just tagging along because they're curious, it would just depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If so, if you could investigate with any of the, oh, we gotta take a break. I'm sorry, I missed that thing. Anyways, you're listening to Ghost Chronicles. I'm just so curious about so many different things. Ghost Chronicles right here on TogiNet and Pararex Radio, and we're all podcasts being played. I am Ron Kolick. She is Marla Woods, and our special guest tonight is Mandy Metzler of the Ghost Sisters, who will be right back after the following messages.
Do you have a paranormal event, book, or something else you want people to know about? Then why not advertise it on Ghost Chronicles Radio? With over 150,000 downloads a month, get your message out to an audience that's interested in the subject. We have a plan at a cost that fits your needs. For more information, contact Ron Kolick at anyghostproject@comcast.net or call 978-455-6678.
Located in Illinois, there lies a sleepy little town where nothing is a common occurrence.
You going to that party in town tonight? Heck yeah! I only turned 18 once.
That is until the night of celebration.
Where the hell is she? Oh no. No, 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 Jessica! What's happening?
From the creators of Shadowhunters, Bite Me, comes a tale of primal terror and grindcore mayhem. Shadowhunters, kill, Jessica, kill!
Are you reading me? Come in. Hello? Greetings from the Shadow, and welcome to Shadowzine. My name is Jeff Belanger. I'm an author, podcaster, and explorer of the unexplained. For 30 years, I've been investigating the paranormal, UFOs, monsters, and things that bump in the night. Lately, you may have noticed how major TV networks and even social media networks have been pushing our favorite subject back into the shadows. I say good. That's why I launched Shadowzine, a monthly underground publication that covers your favorite topics in depth by some of the leading writers and researchers out there. If you're looking for 30-second TikTok clips, go somewhere else. If you're ready for a deeper dive, put down your phone and pick up Shadowzine. You can't find it in stores. This is old school print. Head to shadowzine.com and be part of the underground revolution. That's shadowzine.com, and I'll see you in the shadow.
And we're all back. Ron Kolick, I'm Mala Brooks, and our guest is one of the Ghost Sisters, Mandy. And we're talking about good stuff, right?
Yes.
Well, we're talking about ghost sisters. So, Mandy, how do you do an investigation? If someone calls you to do an investigation, where's it go from beginning to end?
So I don't like to know anything about a location.
Excellent.
It's a business or it's a place that's open for paranormal investigators. I like to go in not knowing anything because I like to do a walkthrough. So I'll do a mediumship walkthrough where I'll just tap into spirit and see what comes to me. And then as I'm investigating, sometimes I get that information depending on what I'm using.
Okay. And
And
continue
I,
like it's like an investigation.
yeah.
Walk us through how you do it.
Well, once I do my walkthrough, after I'm done with my walkthrough, I will begin to set up everything. And because here lately we've been making episodes. So we've been filming for our episodes and we do a lot of lives on our social media
Right.
because a lot of people like to watch. So just setting up all my equipment. I used to set up cameras, but what I discovered, only twice did I ever capture anything setting up cameras. I've actually captured more things on my lives than I did with just a regular stationary camera.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we kind of stirred away from setting up the cameras because just nothing, just running for hours. And what it is they're coming around to us. When we're out there communicating, they're coming to us. And we would set up cameras where, like, not always where we were, it'd be over here in this area, we'd be in a different spot. So, but usually I just get out my equipment and I just start wherever I feel the most energy at in the location.
So what type of equipment?
I prefer to use, I got two spirit boxes that I will use. One is an ink box made by Katie Stafford. If you don't know who he is, he was on the Travel Channel. He was called the Mad Scientist. He built equipment. He was on Devil's Perch with Dave Schrader and Cindy. And he was on another show too. And they had a lot of seasons out. But he built the equipment. So he's very well known in the field. And he has a website called Supernatural Inc. And I went to one of these events and they had this ink box and I actually loved it. And I tell you what, it's got shortwave 1, shortwave 2, which the shortwave is just less frequencies. And I absolutely have gotten amazing things with it. I mean, intelligent responses, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for intelligent responses through these spirit boxes, because, you do get a lot of radio feedback and things like that. You got to be able to debunk, what's true to be spirit. And then I have an intercom box, which is also a direct link. And when I say direct link, I can use my energy to get a better connection with spirit.
Okay.
I use recorders.
Before you come doing investigations, do you do anything to keep yourself safe? Some people pray, some people, do things like that.
Talismans or gems or whatever.
Yeah.
We used to say a prayer. We'd get in a group and we'd say, all right, say our little prayer. And one day we were at a location, a very haunted location. And this guy, he's seen us doing it, the caretaker. And he says, that's okay that you guys do that. He goes, but did you guys ever think that when you're doing that, you might be stopping yourself from getting communication? You might not get as much. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. Because we're praying, asking, make sure nothing comes around, and it's just like that made sense. And we had been doing it for like a whole year. And then we just stopped. And we did start getting more things, not always good things either, but the activity, we did notice we did get more. And actually that night we ended up getting a lot. But other than that, no, I just if something attaches to me or my sisters, they'll just cleanse themselves with sage. I might take a sea salt bath. I just need to ground myself because they do attach to you, and you gotta be very careful of that.
Yeah.
But
Go
I
ahead.
just use REM pods, your typical REM pods, sometimes cat balls, and I do take a stuffed animal that's kind of like a trigger object for children spirits.
Mhm.
But I don't really need a lot. After doing this for a long time, I've probably got thousands and thousands of equipment, and I can tell you right now, I don't even use half of it.
Yeah, a lot of people are going
Less is
back
better.
back to the basics.
Yeah, less is better. I don't want to just depend on, I like listening. I mean, we've had bangs. I mean, there's so much you get when you're listening.
We are the
Listening,
best tools.
listening, recording. I hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because anytime I'm investigating, I'm either recording or I'm live.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that there's one couple that dress up like Santa Claus, and when they're supposedly children spirits, so that's their big spiel. I've known
Oh,
a woman who dressed up scantily dressed and went to a prison to use herself as a trigger object. So the,
Yeah.
people do crazy stuff. I mean,
I wore my uniform to when I
there
went
you
to
go.
prison.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's what got when we were at the Mansfield prison. I think that's why we got Frank. He came down there. It was like because I'm down there saying I'm an officer, and I had on my jacket and everything. I've even wore my utility belts, my pants and stuff.
Yeah.
It does help. But I don't use, we don't look up the history in these places because we don't want
Right,
to know anything.
right.
So our investigation is a little different. So we ain't going in knowing much, who passed away, only by what I'm getting.
Mhm.
But there's always so much more. If you just go by the history, there's spirits that are there that are not being communicated, not being heard because everyone's asking for the ones they know already, that actually the history on that, but there's always so much more, that isn't in paper, on some type of document to say that something happened to someone.
Right, and there's always the problem of the famous ghost syndrome, which means if there's a place that has a reputation of a particular ghost that supposedly haunts it, then everybody jumps to the conclusion that that person is that spirit is the one they're talking with or communicating with. And the same with even a place where someone has died in, it's automatically assumed that that's the person that's in spirit there, and
Mhm.
that's not necessarily the case in so many cases.
Yeah, I like to get their name, if they can give me a clear validation of their name, I'm pretty impressed.
And so when if not a public place, but a private place, so you go and you collect your data, uh, your impressions, your EVPs, your whatever you get. Do you present that to the owner and tell them their place is haunted, or how do you handle that?
If it's a place, a business, not a place where people pay to go to, and no
Yeah,
one's
not
ever
a place to go.
been there.
Yeah,
I just I collect my evidence and I contact them and I send them over what I got, and just tell them, hey, this is what I think's going on. It just depends because I'm not one to throw out. I'm not one to say that there's evil things at places I go to, which there very well could be, but I don't always have that. You know what I mean?
right.
I
So
I just
do you believe there are demons?
Yeah, I believe there's good and bad.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
But I don't, the only time, well, when we went to that Ewer Shrine, that place, but listen, that place has got, like I said, everything. I've had something dark follow me from that location. So yeah, I mean, I believe in it, but everywhere I go, I've not had that.
Mhm.
And it also depends on who I'm with. I have a friend in the field who's also a medium and a demonologist. Now, when I get with him and we go investigating, that's when the real bad dark things will come out because he likes to say prayers and they don't like that and they don't like him.
Mhm.
And we will get some of the most disturbing EVPs ever. And I mean, classic A EVPs. And it's really spooky. And I'm like, hey, I don't get this stuff when I go like
Yeah.
you're getting.
It's all
So
about you, my friend.
that's why I tell them, like, it's you. And now they're coming after me. Like they're talking really bad, like wanting to do bad things. And it's crazy.
You know,
So what do you, whoops. So what do you do when a spirit comes asking you to cross over, the lost souls? Do you do that?
I don't do that. I've been feeling drawn to do that. I need to because it's sad to hear them all the time. Help, help, help me, help.
Hmm.
And and I always say, how can I help you? Are you stuck? I haven't done that yet because I don't know that it can be done. I think the best thing you can do is pray for them and maybe call upon your spirit guides, to help them. I honestly don't know that I'm not saying it can't be done, but I've never done it, but I've witnessed my friend who's a demonologist, he'll say a Saint Michael prayer, and it's amazing because then he'll play his spirit box back and he will get some of the most amazing evidence, and the spirits will come through and they'll say the light and they'll say they're with their family or they'll say Michael's name or it's insane,
Mm,
you know. So and all he's doing is saying a prayer.
right. Now, it's changed so much when I first started doing it. When I first started investigating, many years ago, you would basically explain everything to spirits, like because if there was a spirit that from the 1800s, he wouldn't know what a recorder is. Now we've got
Yeah.
all these fancy boxes and stuff that are out there now that a lot of people don't even know, who out in the field know how they work. How would a regular spirit
No.
be able to deal with it?
So that's a good question. My favorite places to go to are places no one's heard of and no one's ever investigated. Those are the best.
Yes.
Them spirits are just itching for you to get in there and talk to. And it's always active. Like everything's just going crazy in the place, because they're excited. And when we go to a location like that, I always have to tell them how my equipment works. This is what you need to do, and not to be afraid of it. So I have to, because other than that, I might not get anything, or something might go towards, my REM pod, or the cat ball and figure it out themselves. But you do have to kind of, walk them through it, depending
Mhm.
on the time frame they're from.
Right, and actually, yeah, I agree with you. Those are the best places. I mean, I investigate places that there are no reports of hauntings at all. That I just want to investigate, and for some reason, and yeah, those to me are the most interesting because you're going in with a completely blank slate, and so whatever you get is like all new, and then you can go back into the history and see if there's any validation of what you picked up, or so forth.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wicked cool. So, what's your thoughts on the Ouija board?
You know, I I mean, I think it's all about your intentions.
Do you use the Ouija board? Let me start off with that.
No, we have before. We've been at places where they had Ouija boards and we're like, let's just try this. And we've used them, but we've never like bought them and took them on our investigations. No, they were either somebody else had one and got one
Mhm.
out, or there was one at the location, but typically no. I actually sometimes, and it's been a while, but I used to do this a lot, spiritual writing, where I'm actually like the Ouija board, because I'm channeling with spirit and I'm
Oh,
writing.
automatic writing. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I would do 10 minutes of writing, and then I would take what I got and then we would go investigate
No,
and
that's
see
pretty
if
cool.
anything matches. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
don't see nothing wrong with Ouija boards. A lot of people, I think they're getting bad names, but
Well, that was Hollywood that did
yeah.
that too. I mean, I used to do Festival of Dead as spectral evidence as part of the Festival of Dead in Salem, Massachusetts every Halloween. I did that for 13 years at the Hawthorne.
Mhm.
And you'd get about 100 people there. And the first year I did it, I would ask, people who thinks the Ouija board is evil. And that first year, probably had a good 75% thought it was evil. And as I did it over 13 years, it virtually flipped the other way around. It was more only 25% that really believed that it was evil, and most people didn't really think it was. So I
Yeah.
think people have changed their minds. There's still some locations that won't allow Ouija boards. Have you run into any of those?
Um, yeah, I don't think yeah, maybe about 5 or 10 locations.
Yeah.
I think the Randolph Asylum doesn't allow Ouija boards. I think they don't. So yeah, a lot of them will tell you right off the bat, no Ouija boards.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like you said, I think that it's no different than an EVP or anything else, basically, because the big complaint about Ouija, oh, you don't know what you're going to get through. Well, basically, if you're asking the same questions to a stupid recorder, you don't know what's going through there, or anything else, actually. So it's all the same. It's just
Mhm.
different package.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. It's all the same. You're opening up that device either way, whether it's a spirit box, whether it's a Ouija board recorder, or you're asking them to do something, you're communicating.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Marla.
I was going to say, why do you think people think that spirits stay at the cemetery and don't go anywhere else?
You think they do?
I
Yeah,
think they think that because their bodies are there.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And they just think they hover in that spot, but no, spirits travel.
yeah.
They,
And
they
people
don't.
just say, no, they're all there. They're all there. And I'm going, if I'm
Oh,
dead and buried, I don't want to go there. I want to go other places. I want
mhm.
to see things.
Yeah, they do. And some people believe that they don't hang around you a lot. They'll go back to wherever they came from, but I don't know if I believe that
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, they maybe we don't really know, of course. That's the whole thing. We make our presumptions or our theories, but until we pass ourselves, we really don't know what's really happening.
Mhm.
Uh, but spirits coming and going is, I think, uh, plausible more than someone that's like really stuck there. I think it's free will. Uh, you had it in life. Why shouldn't you have it in death?
Hmm.
If you're attached to a place, it's not because you have to, or maybe because you want to be there, or whatever. We don't know.
Mhm.
It's all conjecture. But anyways,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So, what's coming up on for you, Mandy and the Ghost Sisters?
We actually have a brand new location. We had a lady reach out to us just a couple days ago. She has a high school. It's abandoned. They were going to fix it up and move in it. The place it looks like the school just literally packed up and left.
Oh wow,
It's in good conditions. It's in Philadelphia, Ohio, and that is a brand new location. We will be the first ones to get in there, and
excellent.
they want us to go there. They've reached out for us to go there, and I'm going there Sunday. Now, my sister won't be able to join me because she works, and I'm taking my niece and I'm filming for an episode, and I'll be live.
Okay, so if people want to find out more about you, find your episodes and all this, where can they find that?
So if you want to watch our episodes, you can go over to Ghost Sisters on YouTube. We also do lives over there on YouTube and Facebook, and also on TikTok, Rainbow, and on Instagram.
Oh wow, good girl. You're out there on the social media.
There you go. Where you should be. That's exactly right.
Yeah. That's I like when I first started my group years ago, is that like I wanted to you know, either prove or disprove the existence of ghosts. And I soon realized that, I don't think you'll ever be able to do that because the people have their own thoughts of what it is, it isn't. There are some people that if a ghost came up and slapped them across their face, they would give you some explanation for it, even if it was more ridiculous than saying it was a ghost. And there are other people that, any flicker of a light is a ghost or whatever. So I no longer did that. I abandoned that pretty quickly, and it's just, you go out there, you collect your evidence, you present it, and let people make up their own minds.
Yeah, exactly. That's, yeah, because there's always going to be that one, so I just sometimes I'll post it and I might say, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
Mm,
Or if you can hear it very clear, it just depends on what I'll put for the title on whatever I'm presenting.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, people are people. They have their own. I posted a picture one time. We were with Jeff Belanger, and we were at, where the heck was that? Fort Mifflin? No, not Fort Mifflin. Someplace in Rhode Island. But anyways, it was an old fort, and oops, almost out of time. And Ann, who was my partner at that time, who I was with, um, I said, "Here, take a picture. I'm going to go down this corridor because it was like all these tunnels." And she took a picture. And, after the event, I posted some pictures on Facebook. And the picture that she took of me uh, I was close to the camera. So basically, I was all white. So, I looked like a ghostly figure. And so I wrote to, put it up, posted it, and people said, "Oh, you caught your ghost. That's a great ghost." And I explained it to them that it really wasn't. It was just me. But people would argue, absolutely argue, even though it was my camera, it was me that was the ghost because they
Yeah.
didn't know what I was wearing, and yet they still argue because they wanted to believe. And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing we run into in so many things. So we have run out of time, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And we wish you, best of luck at your endeavors. Anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye to you?
Yes, if you are interested in a mediumship reading, you can reach out to me on my social media on Facebook, Intuitive Medium Mandy. And also I do a lot of lives too. So I give free readings sometimes, and I go live on Ghost Sisters too, doing readings for people.
I love that name, Ghost Sisters. It just sounds cool. I have no idea. Anyways, Mandy, thank you so much for being on the show, and we really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you guys for having me.
It was fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to say good night to everyone, and be safe, and especially out here in the Northeast where we have tons of snow.
Yeah, you guys got to
Yeah.
thaw out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good night, everyone. God bless, and stay safe.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, tunes are playing.
From ghoulies to ghosties, long-leggedy beasties, and things that go bump